come down to get a game-winning drive, he can come and do so. However, I think he is also one of those quarterbacks that can be prone to mistakes and kind of fall into that quicksand syndrome where something goes wrong early and it just keeps piling up on him. And I'm kind of getting a feel for that game, this game from him.
For me, Garoppolo, we're talking about. I know he had some pretty good matchups, right? He saw some pretty good defenses. I'm still uncertain about who he is. You know, I want to see him be able to put together a win where you have a team that comes in that's balanced on both sides of the ball. You know, where they can put pressure on you to try to keep up with them, but they also play good defense. You know, so for me, I'm not exactly sure who he is yet as a quarterback.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you on that one.
I get the 49er fans, you know, being optimistic, being happy with what they see so far. I get that, you know. Hell, it got them somewhere so far, right? They're sitting at the top of that division and slotted for a playoff seed, right? A pretty good seed.
Sitting at the top of the conference.
Yes.
10-1.
Yes. So I get that. But I think Baltimore's a little bit too much for him in this game. Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah.
And then also...
And I expect Lamar Jackson to keep that going.
And
that MVP run.
What we mentioned earlier as well, San Fran has had some issues with mobile quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. The Russell Wilsons, the Kyler Murrays, they've all, like Russell beat them, their only loss of the season, and Kyler gave them hell for 2 games. Mm-hmm. Now you take that with what Lamar Jackson has been doing this season, and it's been nothing but spectacular, man.
I tell you what, man, that damn boy, woo,
he's something special. Hey,
listen, you going in trying to get the quarterback. He can make you look stupid. Mm-hmm. You know, I can recall a play earlier in the season when you guys were in Kansas City, and our defensive end came crashing in on him and should have had him, and he pulled out a juke move on him, and you can tell his whole body didn't know how to respond. The defensive end was like blown, you know, in terms of what just happened.
Yeah.
So, and it feels like Lamar is comfortable with who he is as a quarterback, you know, his ability to run with his legs, to make the throws. I believe he's the better of the 2 quarterbacks. And because of that, I'm going with Baltimore in this game.
Yeah. Also, with that, to add to your point, with our offensive line, like we said, we're missing our center, but at the same time, it's not like San Fran is trying to hit a standstill target.
Exactly.
You know, Lamar is getting the fuck out of there. And on top of that, the pass rush, because like San Fran's like we said, their front 7 is crazy. Their pass rush is crazy. But with Lamar, you can't just rush how you normally would. You got to be cautious with, like, as a defensive end, you can't just come off screaming off the edge and try to crash down.
Because it can hurt you.
It opens up that lane for him to take off. Next thing you know, he's 35 yards down the field, scoring a touchdown. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Make another highlight play on ESPN. And on top of that, if you try to sit back and play spy on him, now you're giving him time in the pocket to deliver, which Lamar Jackson has improved immensely as a passer of the football, which I did not see coming at all. Mm-hmm. I thought he was improving. I thought he would improve this offseason because you can see he's dedicated to his craft and he put in the work. But I didn't see this. Like, the dude is dropping dimes from the pocket. Mm-hmm. Like, I think he's rated the number 4 passer from the pocket out of all quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, shit, man.
Mm-hmm. You add that with his physical talents, and that's a beautiful thing.
He's a creative football player.
You know? Not to go with a Star Wars analogy, but when you look at Darth Vader, right, they thought he was the one, right? But it wasn't him. It was actually his descendant, right? His child, you know, with Luke, right? Luke was the one who brought that balance to the Force. I look at Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson in that same kind of lens. Mm-hmm. You know, Mike Vick showed us in his greatness, right, what the possibility could be. You know, Lamar Jackson may be here to fulfill a promise.
Yeah, I'll do. So, and that's the common comparison with Lamar is Mike Vick, which I understand. Mm-hmm. The one thing though is athleticism. The athlete that Mike Vick was, you can see in Lamar. Mm-hmm. The actual quarterback that Lamar is, I did not see in Mike Vick.
No, I agree with that.
You know
that's
what
why
I mean?
I'm saying he's the one.
Yeah. I feel you on that one as well. Okay, I get what you're saying.
That's what makes him the one.
Yeah.
You know, because he can put it all together.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, got the complete package. Plus, on top of that, like to Mike Vick's defense, he never really had an offense designed specifically for him.
He didn't. He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, they tried to put him in like the traditional West Coast offenses and shit like that, and that was a time where it was frowned upon to run the football and shit like that. And on top of that, he didn't put in the work. He admittedly so by him.
Uh-huh. I tell you what, I would have loved to see Andy Reid with him.
Yeah.
Fresh
early in
his
career. Yeah, early in his career.
To see what he would have got.
Because you've seen a little bit of that when he went to Philly, where Mike Vick was at the tail end of his athleticism.
Right.
But that was the best version of Vick.
That we saw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think we're kind of seeing that version of Vick and Lamar now, but better than that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like the man is completing 67% of his passes. 2,500 yards passed, almost 2,500 yards passed.
That's 24. That's pretty damn good for a running back.
24 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Pretty damn good for a running back.
You damn right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I love now that GM had to eat his words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fucking what's his name?
Bill
Polian.
Yeah.
He came out. Yeah, I think he should come out as a wide receiver or running back. And Booger McFarland. He had this. He posted on Twitter that we all know that Lamar Jackson isn't going to be a quarterback in the NFL. He's going to be a wide receiver. We all know this. Book it. And then he had to go on national television last week on Monday Night Football and had repeatedly say, I was wrong. I fucking love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Keep going, Lamar, man. You got the whole community. You got the whole black community behind him, man.
Oh, yeah. How could you not?
The whole black community. Like, I went down to Baltimore. It's reinvigorated. Mm-hmm. Like, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight to see, man. But
that's what's up.
Overall for this game, I think Baltimore wins it. I think it's going to be a really good game. You know, I don't know, man. We've been blowing out everybody. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to give San Fran their respect, man. That defense is legit. Give me a score. I think it's going to be higher scoring.
Well, let me ask you this before you go there. How is San Fran going to run the ball on Baltimore?
That's another thing as well. Because Baltimore,
how does that look?
We're one of the top run defensives in the league. We got our shit together. Like earlier in the season, like I was like, I'm not used to this. Like a Baltimore defense being this bad, it was rough, especially after that Cleveland game where Nick Chubb went off for almost 200 against us. Mm-hmm. But now we got our shit together and we're not letting running backs go crazy like they has. And even though San Fran runs the ball elite, and then also Kyle Shanahan is one of the elite play callers and schemers in this league right now. I just think that we are fully healthy up front. We getting Michael Pierce back on the defensive line, which is huge, along with Brandon Williams. So we got those two big run stuffers. Our linebacking core has definitely excelled better, and our secondary is balling. Like San Fran, they saying their secondary is elite. I'll put ours up against anybody right now. Like the addition of Marcus Peters has been crazy.
I thought that was a good fit.
It was. It's a crazy fit. At first when I seen the trade, I was like, but ever since he's got 3 interceptions since joining our team, 2 pick sixes. Mm-hmm. I think we forced Garoppolo to some turnovers. You know what? I got Bozy last week, man. I predicted a blowout of Baltimore over LA. I think this one's kind of decisive as well.
I think this game is going to look closer than what it actually is. Mm-hmm. I'm taking the Ravens by 10.
I'm going with a score. Hey, listen. I may sound like an asshole saying this. Give me 35-10.
35-10.
Baltimore. We've been scoring touchdowns like every time we touch the ball. We don't punt. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could be we're at home. Mm-hmm. San Fran's defense is elite, but they have yet to see an offense like this.
Right.
I think they get down to the point where Jimmy has to win them the game.
And not to be funny, but you look back at the game with Kyler Murray, right? Mm-hmm. His skill set.
Yeah.
Right? And how that played out in that game.
Yeah.
Right? And then you fast forward to this game, those same challenges, but, on steroids, right? At this point.
Yeah. Give me Baltimore 35-10.
Baltimore 35-10. I think y'all score more points than what San Fran D would like. I'm gonna say Baltimore is gonna score 31 points. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going with 31 points. 31-20.
Okay.
31-20.
All right, and then last game, Monday nighter, Seattle, Minnesota. Now, if you listen to this podcast, you know how I feel about Kirk Cousins.
So you don't like that?
I'm not a Kirk guy. I'm not a believer in Kirk Cousins.
I never was either.
He is the greatest empty stat quarterback of all time. He is the greatest fantasy quarterback of all time. He puts up great numbers. You look at his numbers, and he looks
some guys aren't winners.
He looks like a top 5 quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You look at his numbers, you'd be like, damn, Kirk Cousins is balling.
Mm-hmm.
I fell for the fluke once. You're not getting me again.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Especially primetime Kirk Cousins, he's a different player. He's shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a shit primetime quarterback.
Speaking of which, I expect Russell Wilson to be on shit.
Exactly. And Russell Wilson is the complete opposite.
Yes.
Like, Russell Wilson is an excellent quarterback, but then when it comes to like those big games, he just takes it to another level.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I like Minnesota overall as a team. I like their defense. I like Dalvin Cook. The receiving core is solid. However, Kirk Cousins, I've compared him to Matt Schaub when he was in Houston, where he put up great numbers, but then like when the lights are brightest, he just crumbles. And that's what Kirk Cousins is. And I think it happens this game again. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Russell Wilson puts on a Russell Wilson type performance. I think they put up a good 24 points, and I think Minnesota gets to like 14. But you see a lot of crucial turnovers by Kirk Cousins, though.
Kurt is like an anomaly, right? He's that thing you look at, he's like, oh, how the hell does that work? You look at the numbers that you alluded to earlier that he's put up in his career, and the wins don't mirror that. When have you seen a player where they put on, but yet they don't win? It doesn't match up. That guy's not a winner.
He's not.
Blank period. He is not a winner. And I sort of feel bad for Minnesota because they got duped, right?
That boy definitely. He's a winner in that aspect.
Yes.
That man has got paid.
Yes. Reminds me of a guy called Fitzpatrick.
Reminds me of a guy called Ryan Finley. Was it Flynn?
Flynn, huh?
Ryan Flynn. Dude just went and got like paid by every team as a fucking backup quarterback. I was like, why is everybody paying this dude?
Yeah.
Off of one game he had in Green Bay, we threw 5 touchdowns.
Yes.
That shit is crazy.
Yes. Russell Wilson came in and shut that down.
Early.
Yeah. And shout out to Pete Carroll for being able to identify that. Hey, listen, we just paid this guy a whole bunch of money. But this kid, Russell Wilson, I got to put him in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And not too many head coaches would have pulled that trigger on that.
Yeah.
Belichick, obviously, I think is one of those.
Yeah.
But I think most of them fall into that trap. We paid this guy to be our starting quarterback. He's going to start.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we went down that rabbit hole. I'm gonna say Seattle 24-14.
24-14. Yeah, I got the same score. 24-14 Seattle. Kirk Cousins, 2 interceptions and a fumble. I'm predicting it.
Mm-hmm.
Right when they need him the most, he gonna crumble.
And Clowney's been playing very well for them.
Clowney has been balling.
Yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year type shit.
Yeah.
He has been balling.
Yes.
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah. Wagner looking like Wagner.
That Seattle defense is legit.
Yes.
Seattle's a tough team, man. If I'm in the NFC,
you don't want to see him
at all.
No.
Yeah, that's the one team I dance. Just let them fuck around and get home field. Mm-hmm. You got to go to Seattle. That crowd, what?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm good on that one there.
They're gonna make you earn it.
You already know
everything you get.
Everything.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. I want to get your opinion on the MVP race because I've been doing this like as a weekly thing, and it could change week to week at this point. Mm-hmm. Right now, to me, it's like 2 front runners and Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson, with Lamar being the front runner in my opinion. But overall, in your opinion, give me like your top 5 list from least to greatest MVP conversation right now. And don't think of it as if like down the line, like right now, if the season ended today, who would be your top 5 candidates?